OMG, baby, tell him.
Hey there, welcome to another episode of Powered by Backers. It is I, Justin Fox, founder and CEO of Backers. I am here joined by Pankaj Makkar. Pankaj, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me here. Looking forward to have a great conversation today.
Awesome. So we will dive right in, I guess. So you are let's just go. So you are the founder and CEO of Vision Books, which is an accounting and bookkeeping company. And just to sort of give you a bit of a background, so you're a seasoned CPA who left a corporate job after 20 years and started the entrepreneurial journey, and you're loving every bit of it. You've built a team of 10 accounting professionals within a short span of approximately 18 months, and you've supported more than 50 clients in basic bookkeeping, accounting, and consulting on various matters. Pankaj, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Did I leave anything out? Well, I mean, we can get into sort of your background, but did I leave anything out, or can we start from the beginning and say, how did you get to where you are today?
Sure. So let me start with how did I get to where I am today. So I come from the business family. From when I was growing up, my father was running a business. All my uncles and everybody I knew in my family was running their own businesses.
Okay.
I don't know how I got into employment at first place, but
you should have been in your own business, but somehow you got into being employed elsewhere. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
actually, I think the reason I got into employment was I somehow was doing too well in my studies, and I managed to do a CA.
And got into
at
accounting.
at a very early age. I was 21-year-old, new chartered accountant, first chartered accountant in the family. So I thought I'm going to try the job market and see where it takes me.
Well, maybe you could do the books for all of your relatives, right? That was kind of a built-in. Yeah.
Most of them are retired now. They have sold their businesses.
No, I mean back when you were 21, right?
Yeah. That could have been an option, but I just got into. I started with working with some audit firms in the beginning.
Right.
And then I got into this golden cage of GE.
GE, I was going to say you worked for GE for a number of years, right?
Lasted there for 15 years. So it was kind of, I felt that GE was like a university. Every day, new learning experiences, every day, new challenges. So kind of I was learning there, growing there every single day. And they were treating me well. They were paying me well, so I kept doing new things in the company for a number of years, and that's how I lasted there for so long. And a couple of years back, I was at the crossroad where I was asked to relocate to a different part of the country because they were restructuring in the country. And that's what triggered me to reflect back and see what I want to do.
Right.
And that was a point in time I was like, I never wanted to do a job. Why? I'm not going to look for another job, and I'm going to try to do something that I always wanted to do.
Okay.
So that was a trigger for me to start something of my own.
And when was that? What year was that?
That was end of 2017, early
2017.
18.
Okay. So that's like two and a half years ago at this point.
Yeah. So 6 months, I kind of explored different things. I traveled and I looked at all possible business options. And eventually, after spending a lot of time researching through different options, I figured out that I have got a ton of experience that I should be utilizing somewhere rather than getting myself into a completely new business.
Right.
So I had discussion with a lot of my mentors as well, and kind of I narrowed down to a point that I said that I want to continue doing what I was doing in a different capacity. I want to bring that experience that I've gained over a period of a number of years to small businesses who actually don't have access to that kind of resources or the talent, and they can't even afford to hire very senior professionals in finance and whatnot. So that's where I decided that I'm going to try to use my experience with the smaller and mid-sized businesses. And coincidentally, at the same time, one of my close friend, who is also a CA, he also came out of practice, and he was working with one of the top audit firms in Canada for a number of years, and he was a partner there. He was coming out at the same time,
Right.
and we kind of decided that we can team up and do something together.
Okay.
And he also told me that he has started building a software. I said, okay, you're already busy, so how are you gonna help me? He said that don't worry, I'm gonna be with you as long as I can, and we can build our own accounting business. So we don't call it a firm, because we're trying to run it like a business. We want to make it a profitable, we want to make it meaningful, we want to add value to the businesses. Whereas firm has a different culture, it's more traditional environment in the firm. So we're trying to work more like these startups who are always learning new things, ready to change, making changes on the go, and doing a lot of fun stuff with the technology. That's what we decided to do.
Okay. So that's and so it's vision. It's kind of like vision, right?
Yeah, it's vision. Yeah,
vision. It's spelled just so everyone understands. VIZHEN, right?
Yes, that's right. And that spelling also came from the dictionary. If you look at a dictionary, look for a vision word, they show how it's spelled.
That's phonetically? Okay.
Phonetically. And I really like that. I said, let's use that. And the reason we call it a vision books is we have a vision for our clients. We have a vision for ourselves, and we look for long-term. We're not narrow-minded, short-term, kind of transaction-based business. We look for long-term. We always look for, what is the best for the client. We put our client interest first, their vision, their goals first, than anything else. And with the amount of experience that we bring on the table, even if we are signing up for a client for bookkeeping, we show them the path, or to 5 years down, we put those questions out there in their minds that, what are your plans with the business? Are you going to exit at any time? Are you going to build it to hand over to someone in your family? What are your long-term vision? And accordingly, we provide them with the right solutions that they should be looking for.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go a tax and accounting question. So let's shift. Let's go practical. So we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs. From my understanding, I've been hearing a little bit, and I'd love to hear your take on this. That typically, succession planning, things of that nature. If a corporation is owned by another holding corp, and there was there's a lot of rules that have changed sort of 2018, 2019. Can you maybe talk to those around like income splitting and things like that? I mean, we're going to change gears completely. I just have one question, because I haven't had many accountants on this show. I've talked to a couple, but I mean, just tell everyone your thoughts on sort of, how to structure potentially. Did we lose you?
No, you know what? It was a call on my phone.
Okay.
So anyways, sorry about that.
Yeah, how what are some, maybe if we're gonna go real tactical, what are some piece of advice that you would give to a startup that's kind of coming through? Is that another call? We're losing in and out. That's okay.
Yeah.
What are some tactical things that you might be able to give to somebody?
Okay, so before I say anything, let me clarify that.
Nope, we're losing you in and out. It's okay. Is somebody calling you?
Yeah, I think my son is trying to call me. Anyways, so I was saying that before I get into that question, I have to give you a disclaimer.
Of course, none of this is legal advice. Yeah.
That tax is one area we decided that we made a conscious decision we are not going to pursue.
Okay.
So we do everything
but
taxes.
Okay.
The only tax areas that we touch is the payroll taxes and the HSTs kind of thing, because that is something that goes with the day-to-day basic bookkeeping and accounting, and we have expertise in those areas. But when it comes to income tax, we have fellow accountants who are kind of our partner firms. We always bring them on the table. But to give you a short answer based on my experience, there's a lot of tax planning that you can do. And my only advice to my clients is that if you see that you're building a business which will be a few $1,000,000 in a year, in the coming years, uh, it's better to spend a little bit of money with a good tax accountant, get a advice as to what is the best tax structure for you to minimize your taxes to CRA. And they can, based on individual situation, there's no one solution that fits all.
Right. One size.
Everybody,
No
yeah,
one size
yeah.
fits all. Everyone has a different circumstance or
Everybody
situation.
has a different situations. They have different plans for the business. They have different family situations. They have different tax situations. So it's very, very specific to individual. But yes, short answer is that yes, there is a lot of tax planning that can be done in advance. And I have seen a lot of scenarios where if you plan it well, you can save millions of dollars in taxes down the line. If you have a bigger dream, bigger vision that you're creating something really big, then you should start from the beginning that this is what my vision is. Whether you achieve 50% of your vision or 100% of it, if you plan well in advance around how you structure your organization, your taxes, how you're going to take the money out of the business, how you're going to create the holding companies. If there's any income splitting options available, you pay yourself dividend, you pay yourself rent. So there are multiple scenarios that can be created to plan the taxes.
Okay, interesting. Just a side note, I noticed your T-shirt, Subaru Ironman. Did you actually do it?
Yeah, that's another of my passion. I recently got into that. So about, I think 5 years ago, I started running, and I used to hate running at some point. And I got so addicted to running that I started doing the ultra runs, and I did 50-kilometer race, and I signed up for 100-kilometer race. I did a lot of marathons, half marathons.
Interesting.
And I saw in my family, my brother was doing Ironmans, and he recently learned swimming. He never had any swimming experience. So I said that when he can do it, I can do it too.
Right.
So I signed myself for Ironman race in Muskoka, and which was like 9 months from the day I signed up, and I could not swim one length in the pool. So wow. I threw myself in that challenge. And then 6 months, 3 days in a week, I was in the pool training myself to get over with that.
So how long is an Ironman? It's biking, running, swimming, right?
Yeah, so it's the other way around. So it's swim, bike, and then run.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to drown when you are too tired.
When you're tired, yeah. So you swim first. Okay, yeah. But so how long is each distance?
So it depends. Yeah. So there are two types of distances. Like in the marathon, there's a half marathon and a full marathon distance. Full marathon is 42K, half is 21K.
Right.
Similarly, in Ironman, they have two distances. One is full Ironman, which is 140 miles, and then there's half Ironman, which is 70.3 miles. So in terms of your kilometers and all, so you swim about 1.8 kilometer in the open water, and then you hop on your bike, do 90 kilometers of bike, and then you do half marathon distance,
so 21,
which is 21 kilometers.
Wow, so that's the 140.
Yeah, no, that's 70. That's 70.
That's
miles.
the 70 miles, which is about
so
100.
I did the half.
Yeah,
I did the half one. I did. I did.
That's still pretty impressive. That's amazing. Like you did 100 kilometers in, how long did you do it? In like a few hours? How long does it typically take?
It took me 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours.
Yeah, they give you about 8-9 hours to finish that race.
Okay.
And my goal was actually, I set the goal that, I needed some decent time. I set myself a goal, 6.5 hours. I was like 6:28 or something.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. They'd already be packing up everything. I'd be coming in like 3 days later. It's like, hey, what about me? I'm just sort of walking along. They've already gone home. It's Tuesday morning. Yeah.
I remember in my first race, I did, few weeks before this Ironman race. It was in Welland, close to Niagara. It was a long
Okay.
distance
Yeah.
triathlon, and the first leg was two kilometers of swimming in there in the
The
canal.
Welland Canal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so slow, and I was going like all over because it's very difficult to swim straight line when you are
Right.
training in a pool and have not trained enough in the open water.
Right.
And the first question I asked the guy when I came out of water, am I the last one? He said, no, I see a bunch of
There's
you
still
behind you.
a few more people. Yeah.
That felt so good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. So when was that? When did you do the Muskoka? This summer, or was
No,
that a few summers
this
ago?
summer, yeah, this was last summer and last summer, and then in
Okay.
between I did one in the
Do they still
UK.
do them with COVID or no?
Yeah, no, with COVID, all the races have been canceled
Have
this
been
year.
canceled,
So
right?
waiting for next year. Hopefully they'll open up
Have you
next
been
year.
training, getting your swimming up
So,
and at all? Have
so
been able to get out and do running or
yeah,
anything?
so this summer I did only a couple of swim in the lake, Lake Ontario, close to my home in Oakville.
Okay.
And I've been biking a lot actually. Last
Okay.
weekend I did 150 kilometers of bike. So I've been biking every weekend. I
Okay.
do long bike rides.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, it's definitely a lot of people don't talk about these types of things, but having other sort of activities that you can obviously exercise in general is great for sort of a lot of just your health, your general health and wellness,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
So you
That's
definitely
part of your life.
yeah, exactly. Having a well balanced or well rounded lifestyle. That's awesome. So yeah, like I said, I'd be 3 days later. I definitely would be the last swimmer coming in.
No, no, you won't be. You'll be surprised. They're all body types, all speed types.
Yeah,
When
maybe
I
20 years ago I would have done it. I mean, I was a lacrosse and hockey player, and played multiple sports in high school. So might have been
yeah.
a little more athletic, but
Do,
at
do you
this
still
point
play
now.
hockey?
I did up until a couple winters ago. I had a fairly significant incident last summer, and had to kind of quit all sports for the time being.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I shattered my hip and had some other major surgeries. So
Oh, shoot.
I just started walking actually in January after
Oh,
10
okay.
months of no walking. So
Oh my
um,
God.
so yeah, so sports are kind of out of the realm. I've actually taken up race car driving. So I figured if
Oh,
I can't
nice.
use my own horsepower, I'll use the vehicle's horsepower,
So
right? So
what's your favorite car?
so I just do like they call them like stock cars, sort of like the oval track. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's nothing to write home about. It's awesome. It's a great experience. It's a fun experience. You get up to the track. There's not a lot that compares to it, but from an adrenaline standpoint, but it's not exactly Indy or NASCAR, but it's
Okay.
fun. And they at the track they get about 100 cars up there on a weekend. They've got different classes. So the class I race in is called mini stocks. So they're little like 4-cylinder Civics, and I just got a Ford Fusion I'm building out right now, 2010 Ford Fusion. So it's all little cars, but they go all the way up to late models, which are maybe a couple steps down from a NASCAR. So it's pretty interesting, but. Yeah.
So what's the speed that you get in these cars?
The track I've been going to is it's a 1/4 mile oval. So
Okay.
because it's quite short, you're not getting that sort of long straightaway to kind of pick up a lot of speed. But I think from what I've been told, there's no speedometers on the cars, so it's tough to really
Okay.
tell. But from what I've been told, we're doing about any from like 90 to 100. Some of the faster cars are maybe doing 120 along the straightaway kilometers,
Okay.
give or take. So I mean, it's fast for but it's like within a split second you're at the corner, and you're literally like they're high banks, and you're kind of like doing like a full 180 coming right around and you're drifting around the corners,
Wow.
at about 80, 90 kilometers an hour. So
That sounds like fun.
it's a lot of fun. So you're strapped in, and you're full roll cage and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
not regular cars. You're in a purpose-built race car. So
Okay.
yeah. So it's not
Yeah,
like
my
you
my
bring your own car out there.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I got it. Is it in Markham or
The
whereabout is
one,
it?
they're all over Ontario. There's,
Mhm.
I mean, I think Barrie used to have one. There's Sunset, there's Sauble. The one I've been going to is called Varney. They have a track in Grand Bend. They've got tracks, down in Cayuga, Peterborough. They're all over. There's probably 20 or 30 or so Flamborough. There's a number of them across the province.
Okay, okay.
So we've actually, in conjunction with that, I'll tell everyone here, we've created a platform called Tracks where we actually live stream the races and do some things in addition to me just showing up and driving. But so we've been doing some of that. So that's been kind of fun as well. It's kind of been a side hobby over the summer with COVID, given my physical and the fact that all other sports were canceled. This kind of came up, and we've been running with that. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
It's,
I'll get to one of these tracks one day.
Yeah,
It's on my wish list.
Yeah, I mean, are you a car guy at all? Are you?
Yeah, I like driving different cars.
Yeah?
I drive a Jeep Wrangler right now.
Okay.
I'm fond of speed cars. My only experience with the fastest car was last year when I was in Hollywood. I rented a Ferrari.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
that was my.
How much does it cost to rent a Ferrari in Hollywood?
It was actually surprisingly cheap. It
Yeah?
was, I think, $150 an hour.
Okay.
And they let you drive. And
so you're not going far. You're not going really. Like you don't take it for a couple of days, but.
No. Yeah, it's only for
an
hour or so. They take you to the Hollywood sign and you do your photos, and they had one loop that you do, which is not more than an hour. And within
do
that
they
loop,
drive or you drive?
No, you drive. So I drove. They tell you where you can push the gas.
Okay. So there's somebody in the passenger seat with you, kind of
there's somebody.
you around.
There's somebody with you. Yeah.
I was gonna say because we rented Sea-Doos and I think it was like $200 for an hour. So it's cheaper to rent a Ferrari than it is to rent a Sea-Doo.
I was surprised.
Just a couple weeks ago.
My son saw that and he asked me, "Daddy, can we go?" And my first instinct was that it must be expensive. And then I said, "Okay, let's check it out." And it was not that expensive. I said, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
And that's the only thing they remember from the trip now.
Renting the Ferrari. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. It's surprising what the little things that sometimes they'll remember. But we have a 4 and a 6-year-old, so it's been interesting this summer, kind of going out doing different things and working from home. My wife's working from home as well. So, okay, let's get we'll get back to sort of the, I guess, vision books. I just have one question, and then we'll sort of end it off. Again, appreciate you joining me here. But so I have a question sort of around vision. So you mentioned that you don't do taxes.
Yeah.
What
do we do?
Yeah, what do you do, I guess, would be the question. I mean, when you sit down with somebody, what is it that you're proposing to them, or what skill sets or what capabilities are you bringing?
Yeah, so basically we are, you can say, outsource accounting department for any small to mid-sized businesses. And we have some clients who are startups who are pre-revenue and they still have to do their books. The choices that they have is to directly hire some part-time bookkeeper, accountant, or if they have enough volumes, then they can bring somebody full-time in-house. But with that choice, they have a very limited amount of experience that they're bringing on the table. Whereas with Vision, what we do is we actually take care of their basic bookkeeping, all the CRA compliance needs, whether it's payroll, HST. We guide them through, how you should do if they're operating different provinces. Do you need to set up your different, tax registrations or whatnot? So we take care of all those compliance needs, get their payroll up and running, direct deposit, all that good stuff, so that the person who is actually running the business, he don't have to worry about these day-to-day administrative type or accounting or the bookkeeping type of things. So that's our, you can say, one spectrum of.
And how do they pay for that? Like is it just hourly?
Yeah, we try to, with most of our clients, we have a fixed fee structure. So
Okay.
for a couple of months, we try to assess, what's the volume, how much time commitment we have, and all of that. And within a couple of months, we try to give them a fixed fee, so they don't have to worry about your prices going up or down, unless the service level changes and they're getting some more stuff done. So our preference is always to have a fixed fee monthly packages based on the client's needs. And then, so this is one set of spectrum. The other end is fully established companies who have 40, 50, 60 employees. And they have ton of accounting work that we do at the back end. So they have to do all their payrolls, they have to pay all their vendor bills, they have to send the invoices to the customers, follow up with the customers on invoices. We are talking about large volume customers,
right,
who are already established, doing up to $10 million in sales. So these are very high volume businesses who actually need maybe sometimes one or two or three accountants in-house to service them. So we have those kind of clients as well, and we do all of their accounting and basic, all the everything that they need. On top of the basic bookkeeping accounting, we also do the forecasting for them. For example, they want to see how they're going to do in 6 months from now, 12 months from now. And a lot of them have a bank covenant, so they have bank loans, so they have to provide some reporting to the bank. So we take care of that piece as well.
right.
And the biggest value we add to these clients from this side of the spectrum to the other side is, depending on the level of activity that's happening in the business, we set up the right technology for them. It could be as simple as, setting up an advanced payroll system, which does a lot of things automatically. Things like ROEs, things like, CRA remittances, because these are the pain points in all the businesses. People miss to make these payments. People
Right.
miss to process things on time. Their vendors shut down on them because they didn't pay the invoice on time. Their AR, their accounts receivable, the is sitting at,
Grows
collection.
and grows and grows. Yeah.
They are running out of cash because nobody paid attention to the collection. So there's no systems in place, and
Right.
they are just focusing on sales, and they forget about everything else. And then
Right.
things starts to break up or fall down.
Yeah.
And then they start running out of cash, because cash is critical for this these, I would say, small to mid-sized businesses. Cash
Right.
is the biggest, most critical component. So we make sure that we set up the right processes from get-go, and somebody is actually taking care of those processes, and the business owner or the CEOs, they can focus on what's more important for them.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
so we cover a lot of different aspects of the needs, and then on top of that, we have a good solid ecosystem. So we have contacts with the banks, the lenders, and tax accountants, your shred guys. So we have
Right.
good ecosystem. So depending on, and again, some clients don't have exposure to any of these things. They don't even know if these things
Right.
apply to them or not. But we
Right.
can always, when we're doing their books, we know what's happening in the business, and we can tell them, we can
advise them on
a lot of these things, and a lot of these advices are, they're not chargeable. They're like, that's where we build a trust with these clients, because they know that they didn't ask us for these things, and we are looking at their books, and we tell them proactively that, hey, this is what we noticed, this is what we should do to save your cost, this is what you should do to do this. So we keep on engaging with the businesses on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, to give them those advice.
Awesome. We should definitely connect. I mean, we work with tons of entrepreneurs, and they're coming through to us to raise capital basically on our platform, right? So we're trying to build out. We just launched actually yesterday our tech incubator. So we're building out sort of a support structure for entrepreneurs, which would include accounting, bookkeeping, that sort of thing as well. So we should definitely connect, after this a little more and talk about that. Because as they run through the process to raise capital, we want to make sure they've built the foundation so that they can raise more capital, and there's more value to the business, right? And when they are successful, or increase their chances of success in business, and in raising capital on our platform. So definitely we should talk about that. So Pankaj, I appreciate again very much you joining me here. I always ended on one question.
Mm-hmm.
Same question for everyone. I've gotten now probably 50 different answers across the past few months. If you had one word that you could, if you could go back and talk to a younger you, and there was one word or one piece of advice you would give them, or him, or yourself, or somebody else coming up for that matter, but just think about for yourself, one word or one piece of advice, what would that be?
For the younger generation?
For a younger you, or somebody coming up?
I would just say believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself.
That's my most recent learning and experience, and I feel that a lot of people end up not taking action on their own dreams just because they have doubts in themselves. So if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to do that for you. So you really have to believe in yourself and your capabilities, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone out there, Pankaj, thank you again for joining me. Everyone else out there is powered by backers. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Awesome. Thanks, Pankaj.
All right.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
OMG, baby, tell them.